Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds and then sort of just get started. This is our Thinking About a Tech Career Start Here webinar. And my name is Ray, and I work on the admissions team here. And it looks like our number of participants has evened out a little bit. So I'm going to jump in. This meeting is being recorded, so you'll have it if you need to jump or if you're just tuning in. It'll be recorded and sent to you. All right, but let's do this. Hello again to people who just joined us. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me. This is our webinar called Thinking About a Tech Career Start Here. And like I said, my name is Ray, and I am on the admissions team here at Flatiron School. This is my face. I'm calling out of Denver, Colorado. I have been with Flatiron School for a little bit over 2 years at this point. And I'm an avid foodie and road tripper and also a furniture collector. So in case you wanted to know about me, that's a little bit about me. Before we get started today, this presentation is not going to take a ton of time, hoping to wrap in about 25 minutes, give or take, and then spend the rest of the time answering any and all of your questions, and then hopefully give you a few minutes back to your evening. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat box. These can be questions about anything that you hear in the presentation today, or like Flatiron School in general, questions about our programs, whatever. We will get to all of them at the end of the presentation. And then here's our sort of roadmap. We're in the welcome section right now, so we're moving right along. I'm going to talk a little bit about Flatiron School's history, give you a solid program overview of all 4 disciplines that we offer, touch on the admissions process, career services, our jobs report, open Q&A, and then wrap with some next steps. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We are going to start with Flatiron School's mission statement, which is to enable the pursuit of a better life through education. Our goal is to set you up for a successful future in your new career path. We really consider our courses to be career-changing courses, and we want to help you make your transition into the tech industry a smooth one. So we'll dive into what that looks like throughout the rest of the presentation. And here's a brief history of Flatiron School. So we were founded in 2012 in New York City by Adam and Avi. They combined Adam's passion for education with Avi's experience in code to create and deliver the Flatiron School curriculum. We have 8 campus locations in Austin, Chicago, Denver, Houston, Manhattan, San Francisco, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. And our sister school, Secure Set Academy, also operates in Colorado Springs and in Denver. And then lastly, our graduates are able to launch careers in the tech industry with impressive starting salaries, and in most cases, make a full career transition in less than a year. Here we have a wide range of employers that our graduates have been hired on with. You'll see everything from banks to insurance companies and some pretty prestigious tech company names as well. More than anything, I think it just shows how much we depend on technology for day-to-day business, and that most companies operating a website or an application rely on a software engineer to make that happen. So let's talk a little bit about our response to COVID. As I'm sure we all know at this point, our campuses have been closed and operating remotely since March of 2020. However, we're excited to share that we're slowly starting to reopen select campuses. A couple of our campuses are already open, and then more will follow soon. Campus reopening is happening in phases. And right now, the phase that we're in is using select spaces as a place to connect with fellow students, utilize as a study space, and attend in-person events. Very, very important note that all mandatory learning will still happen virtually. We do not have a set date on when in-person instruction will resume. But for now, if you are in New York City, Austin, Chicago, and Denver, New York City, Austin, Chicago, and Denver. Those 4 campus spaces are open as community areas. If you're a student, whether you're full-time or part-time, you're more than welcome to attend campus. And if you're a prospective student, we have some really cool in-person events that you would absolutely be able to attend. So exciting stuff coming. More info to come, more campuses to open soon. And if you'd like to read more about our campus reopening plan, there is a ton of information on our website. One more quick note about sort of in-person classes. We are running an in-person, like a full-time in-person program out of our New York City campus, likely in January. And so applications are open for that program. If you would like to potentially join us on campus in January, submit an application sooner rather than later, because that program will fill very quickly. I am sure of that. And if you have any specific questions, again, feel free to pop them in the chat box. But that's a little bit about sort of where we're at currently. More info to come. And so we're going to talk about the disciplines that we offer in the next couple of slides. But I wanted to start by explaining our 2 learning paces, which are live and flex. Basically, everyone's schedule is so different. Some students choose to quit their jobs and take a fully immersive program, while others are working full or part-time and want to take a course on their off hours. And so we offer the exact same curriculum, same career services, like the same course at a variety of different paces so that students can choose the best fit for them. And essentially, our live program is the quickest and also the most intense pace option. Students are working 9 hours a day at minimum, attending live lectures, working on group activities, and solo project building throughout the day. Very, very important note about our live program is that it is impossible to work a job and also take the live program. Many have tried, none have succeeded. So know that. That's what our Flex program is really designed to do. The Flex course is the exact same curriculum, but you're able to set your own schedule. So you can choose 20, 40, or 60 weeks, which is about 5, 10, or 15 months respectively. The pace that you choose dictates your weekly time commitment to the program, but you have flexibility in that it doesn't matter when you get the work done. It matters that you get the work done. Another really cool thing about the Flex program is that you are able to change your pace as your life changes. You have 60 weeks total to work through the curriculum, and you can do it sooner. You can do it like really on your own schedule, which is nice. With the Flex program, also, you'll have a mix of recorded lectures and then some optional live lectures and live study sessions throughout the program as well. Like I said, career services support for both paces is the same. And of course, you don't have to make a final decision before submitting an application. You definitely want to talk to your admissions rep, talk about your lifestyle and what you have going on outside of class so that we can figure out together what pace is going to be the right fit for you. All right, let's talk about our disciplines, starting with definitely one of our most popular programs, which is software engineering. Software engineering is the design, development, maintenance, testing, and evaluation of websites and computer software. And we designed the software engineering bootcamp course to give you necessary expertise in both front and back end programming so that you can become a full stack web developer. Some common job titles we see our students land are software engineers and software developers. This is our software engineering curriculum. You'll get a full syllabus in an email after we wrap today, but the primary technical languages we teach are Ruby and JavaScript. You can also expect to learn front-end frameworks like React and Redux, and back-end frameworks like Sinatra and Rails, as well as some data structures and algorithms work as well. You'll have the outcome of 5 completed portfolio projects that you can showcase to employers following the program, which is really nice. And this is just one example of a portfolio project completed by 2 Flatiron School students called Words with Nerds. It's a fully responsive gaming app, or like word puzzle, built as a paired project during module 3 of our 5-module course, just to give you an idea of what you can expect to learn and create in the program. We also have a ton of really cool portfolio project examples that are published on YouTube. If you just do a quick search of like Flatiron School capstone project, Flatiron School mod 5 project, there's a bunch of really, really cool recordings of people walking through the apps that they've built. And if you need some examples, the admissions team has them and we're happy to send some over. I'm moving along to our data science program, which is a field that uses like scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data. Basically, you're analyzing data to solve problems and inform business decisions. You're telling a story with the data that you've compiled. With this program, it's important to note that the biggest learning curve is calculus and statistics. A strong math background and prior exposure in both areas is definitely preferred. Here is our data science curriculum. You can expect to learn everything from Python to machine learning in our program. You'll also leave with an understanding of how to discover new techniques as your career progresses. And with our live data science program, and it's a little bit different for the flex course, but for the live course, every 3 weeks, you'll be introduced to a new module that builds off of the learnings of the previous section, while like allowing you enough time to dive into each area for a thorough understanding of the subject matter. And then this is a portfolio project from one of our data science students. She used the parameters of the Bechdel test to examine how women are represented in film, and then presented data-driven insights for end users with a dashboard that allows the user to explore the data that most interests them. Very cool. Creating dashboards from data is a very common practice that sorts your data into a quick visual, whether it be a graph or a chart. It allows you to measure and assess data quickly and easily to perform in a more productive fashion. When you get the copy of this presentation deck, definitely click into the link and you can see the full project and see the dashboard for yourself. It is awesome. But moving along again to talk about cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is the protection of computer systems from theft or damage to hardware, software, or data. Basically, this means that it protects systems from cyber attacks so that people can operate safely. And we've partnered with SecureSet Academy to help transform cybersecurity education and enable people to pursue careers that they love. So we'll jump into the details of the program that we offer in the next slide. This is our cyber engineering curriculum. So with this course, you have 600 hours of curriculum learning advanced cybersecurity tools like Python, Wireshark, Linux, Metasploit, and you'll learn how to use them to defend against cyber criminals. There are 8 foundational courses that offer a deep dive on concepts related to networks and systems, cryptography, application security, Python programming, and pen testing. In this program, you spend 50% of your time in what we call a cyber range lab environment, which is nice because it gives you some real world experience. Half of your time is spent learning, half of your time is spent implementing in real world scenarios, which gives you like the expertise to jump right into the front lines of cybersecurity post graduation. And then some common job titles we see for students who complete this program are security engineer, security analyst, penetration or pen tester, and security consultant. And then lastly, we have our newest discipline, which is product design. Product design uses design, research, and data to solve problems for a user's experience. Our product design grads will become product designers, UX designers, UX researchers, and interaction designers. And this is a breakdown of our product design curriculum. At the live full-time pace, this course is 15 weeks, broken into 5 3-week phases. So phases 1 and 2 teach the fundamentals of UX and UI, user experience and user interface processes. Phases 3 and 4 give you the real world experience through rigorous projects where you'll employ the techniques that you learn in phases 1 and 2. And then in phase 5, you'll pull your body of work into a portfolio and start to work with a career coach to prepare yourself for entry into the job market. I'll pause here and just say we're like probably halfway through the presentation at this point. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat box, and let's keep going. So we're going to switch gears a little bit to talk about sort of your journey from prospective student to graduate here at Flatiron School. So for the purpose of this slide, you're the guy in the middle with your admissions rep, lead instructor, technical coaches, and career coaches sort of all present to help support you throughout different stages of the program. Your admissions rep, someone like myself or someone on my team, will guide you through everything that you need to know up until the first day of class. That's where you'll meet your lead instructor. And our lead instructors are like field expert, like software engineers, data scientists, cyber engineers, or product designers who just happen to like love and prefer teaching. They'll give you everything that you need to know. When you need some extra support, we have technical coaches there to provide you with one-on-one assistance in the evenings and on the weekends, which is really helpful. And then lastly, to support your job search, you have a designated career coach to help you market yourself in the industry. And this is a breakdown of the admissions process. It varies slightly depending on your discipline, but generally, the first step that you'll see is to submit a written application. From there, myself or one of my colleagues will reach out and get you scheduled for an admissions interview, which is generally a 20-minute conversation, either over Zoom or a phone call, where we just get to know you and talk about your background and talk about the program and answer any questions that you have for us. In that call, we will also help you prepare for the admissions assessment, which is our technical interview, essentially. It's a 15-minute timed critical thinking assessment, and we will give you like all the sort of keys to success to pass that assessment in the admissions interview. And then after you complete your assessment, you'll receive your admissions decision. Once you're admitted, you'll get access to any required pre-work materials. You will select your financing method, you'll sign your enrollment paperwork, and you'll start class successfully on day 1. But your admissions rep is here to help you through like the entire process. So I think this ties in with the next slide, but people always say I don't know if I should apply yet. I don't know if I'm ready. Honestly, like submit an application. If you're thinking about, starting a program in the next 6 months, submit an application. If you're at the very beginning of your journey and you like have imposter syndrome and you haven't done that much technical training, submit an application. Like that is just step 1 of this entire journey. And getting connected with someone on the admissions team is going to make your life so much easier, because instead of like fretting about what the process is going to look like, you're going to be in it. We're going to help you get through it. So you don't need to know how to code, how to hack, design, or work with data before submitting an application. But you should definitely know, number 1, that you're ready for a career change, like you're ready to put in the work and make this happen. And you should also know approximately how much time you have to commit to learning this new skill. And that's so that we can help you determine what pace is going to be the best fit for you. Another sort of pro tip, especially for beginners, we have a ton of free intro lessons on our website, like intro to coding, intro to data science, cybersecurity. I think there's a new one for product design on there too. They're just like little tidbits of information to, number 1, make your application look great. It looks like you're already trying to do some self-teaching. You're already trying to like interact with Flatiron School and join the community. We love to see it. But also if you're maybe stuck between disciplines or you've never actually coded before and you just want like a jumping off point, totally optional, but also totally free and readily available on our website if you want to jump in and take a look. I think Oh, we don't have a slide, but I thought there was a slide that like showed you where on the website to access it. But basically, flatironschool.com, on the top left, there's a button that says courses. There's all of our paid, structured programs. And then at the bottom, there's all of the free stuff too. So jump into that if it's something that you're interested in. But I guess we're going to talk a little bit about financing for now. So this is a quick rundown of our financing options. Tuition for the program, whether you take, like, regardless of your discipline, regardless of your pace, is actually the same. It is $16,900 in total. And essentially how it works is once you're admitted into the program, you pay a deposit up front of $500. You can pay it with a credit card, you can pay it with a bank account, whatever you want to do. That deposit is what secures your seat in class. And it's also what gives you access to pre-work, which is mandatory to complete before starting a program. And then from there, for the balance, you can pay it up front if you'd like to, credit card, bank account, whatever you want to do, that's fine. We also have an installment plan where you pay the initial deposit, and then for the rest, you can break it into 12 equal interest-free installments and pay monthly throughout the course of a year. So you are paying while you're in the program, but it all stacks up to be interest-free in the end, which is nice. And then we also have 2 different lenders. We work with a company called Ascent and then another company called Climb, who offer loans for our students. And just an FYI, if you're thinking about taking the full-time or the live program, both lenders do offer cost of living loans in addition to tuition, I believe up to $7,500. If you want some money paid to you to help cover some of your cost of living expenses while you're in the program, since the assumption would be you're not working while you're taking the live course. And then we have some scholarship opportunities actively posted on our website. Click this link or just go to diversity initiatives on our website. Currently, we have something called the Access Scholarship, aimed to help those in underrepresented communities in tech. We have a Women Take Tech Scholarship. There's a ton of cool initiatives on our website, so definitely check it out. The scholarship application is internal. So if you're interested in applying for a scholarship, you're going to want to apply to the program first, schedule your admissions interview, and then from there, we can talk about scholarships. We'll send you the application and then you can apply. Cool. So switching gears a little bit again, we've talked a lot about like what happens before the program, what happens during the program, and now we're going to transition to arguably the most important part, which is what comes afterwards, and that is your job search. So starting with career coaching, I think this is the coolest thing about our program. I don't know of anybody else who does it like how we do it, but basically, regardless of the discipline or the pace that you choose, when you're about 80% of the way through the course, we will match you with one designated career coach to assist you with everything from resume review, mock interviews, even a mock technical interview. And these are like professional career coaches who work one-on-one with our grads. And their whole job is to make sure that you feel confident walking into your job search. In addition to your coach, you'll also have the assistance of our employer partnerships team. And basically their role is to nurture local relationships with employers so that they're ready to hire our graduates. Flatiron School has been in this business for a very long time. We've placed like 5,000 students and counting. And so just naturally, we've made connections all over the country, really, of like companies big, companies small, that hired a Flatiron School grad maybe years ago, had a great experience. And then when they're looking to grow their team, they reach out to us. So there's a lot of cool opportunities there. You'll also be actively applying for jobs on your own as well. But really the combination of all of those things, I think, is what leads to the success that our students see. So very, very cool piece of this program. And then speaking of hiring our graduates, this is our 2020 jobs report. You'll get the full report in an email so you can see there's a ton of cool data, but it features software engineering and data science among 7 of our campuses in the US. This report and like all of our reports are third-party verified, show the transparent outcomes of our students. And so very proud to share that 86% of our students included in this report were able to find employment in less than 6 months of completing the program. This is our like goal and the real moment of celebration for our students and for us, like when we see them land a job within the industry. And then we also have the average starting salary, which is just under $75,000. What's cool is we've seen this number grow significantly over time for students that stay in their position and grow within their company. These, like the next couple of slides, I think break down the numbers a bit more. Women starting salary, $72,280. Got a little bit of room to grow there. But what's really awesome to see is that our job placement rate among women in this report is actually above the average at 90%. So very cool. We want our students to know that like there is a place for you at Flatiron School and also within the tech industry. And then I think this is the last slide before we jump into questions. It just shows our time to placement rate across all of our different disciplines. What's really interesting to me is that on average, more than half of our grads found work within the first 60 days of their job search. This was our largest jobs report yet, and definitely I recommend you guys dig into the data. Like I said, you'll get a copy of the report after we wrap today. Tons of cool information on like, you know, how many of our grads have degrees versus like a high school diploma. What size company are our grads getting hired at? Like, how does salary grow over time? Tons of cool insight. And I think that's it. So let's see. Yes, perfect. That was our last slide. So want to jump into some questions if anybody has them. It looks like there's a couple of things in the chat. I just saw this. Someone said, go Broncos, Nuggets, and other Denver sports. I would definitely agree with that. I'm not really a sports fan, but you know, I'm in Denver, so you gotta show pride. All right, first question. What do you need to be strong in? Like what background, what prerequisites should you have for software engineering or product design? It's a good question. With software engineering, there's not any hard prerequisites. Certainly, if you've done a little bit of self-teaching in the past, that's great. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Ruby, whatever you want to do. But more than anything, I think for the software engineering program, it's about being like naturally curious, being able to think critically. You know, students who like puzzles, students who are like natural sort of like tinkerers, those types of students tend to do very, very well in the software engineering program, regardless of their background. We have students take all of these programs from so many different like paths. And there's not one type of person who's going to be successful in the course. So I think that that's great. I think that like the diversity of our cohorts makes them so much more like fulfilling, but there's no like firm prerequisite. With product design, I think the same thing is true, like maybe a little bit of tinkering, HTML, CSS, like front end sort of web development is always good. I think that a little bit of prior exposure to like Adobe Creative Cloud is nice to have, but it's not necessary. And liking to like being sort of like client facing, I think is also important for product design, because ultimately you're like working with users to create products, which is cool. So that's that. I'm sorry if you guys can hear, there's like my neighbor's dog is barking very loudly in the background. Hopefully you can't hear it, but apologies if you can. All right. Someone said, if you're participating in the Flex program, can you start anytime? Very good flag. No, you cannot start at any time. The Flex program it's like a hybrid of a self-paced course and our fully immersive course. I think the Flex program is awesome because you have the flexibility to schedule your week, however you'd like. If you want to be like autonomous and sort of watch the recorded lectures and do your work in the middle of the night, great, you can absolutely do that. But we also have a ton of really cool live, like community building things that happen throughout the week as well, that our flex students are encouraged to attend if they can. Like you can attend live lectures. We have live study sessions and open office hours. You have a lead instructor that you have one-on-ones with. We have campuses that are open that you could go to. So there's a ton of live stuff that you can attend as well. And also in the Flex program, you have a start date because you do have a cohort. The word cohort is used loosely because, you're not always going to be at the exact same pace at the exact same time because everybody's working on their own schedule, but there you are with a group of individuals who are going through the same program as you are, and you're going to communicate and you're going to help each other through the process, which I think is really helpful at just holding yourself accountable for the goals that you've set for yourselves. So you have start dates on our website. The start dates on our website are the same for the Flex program and also for the live program. I hope that answers your question. Ross asks, is college level calculus and statistics needed for the data science track, or is it self-study using Khan Academy adequate? Also, how much math is actually taught during the course, if any? So I think it's tricky. I think the main thing is understanding sort of like the logic of these mathematical concepts. And that is something that cannot be crammed in advance of starting an immersive program. Like you do not have to be a mathematician to be successful in the program. And really, it's not like we're teaching a lot of math. It's more of like, we expect our students to have that mathematical mindset, if that makes sense, because some of the concepts build upon like calculus fundamentals. So I think that Khan Academy is great. Like certainly don't re-enroll in college and just to take calc and stats. In a lot of ways, I feel like self-teaching is maybe even better because you're actually focused on learning the skill this time around. But it just depends on how much time you've put into it. So I think like, it's hard to say for sure. I hope that you understand. The data science program does have pre-work that covers a lot of fundamentals of like Python and also some math concepts. And if you've never taken math in college, or if you're looking for some self-teaching resources, apply to the program. And we have a lot of stuff that we can send you so that you can make sure that you are well versed in the topics that we expect you to know before day one. Is a bachelor's degree recommended for the program? And are you able to find a tech job without one? No, a bachelor's degree is not recommended for the program for any of our disciplines. And yes, absolutely, you're able to find a tech job without one. Speaking about software engineering specifically, I've always found it so interesting that a lot of our students, or at least a lot of our applicants, actually have a 4-year computer science degree and still take a boot camp because a lot of what you learn in college is theory and not so much like the practical application. I've always found that very interesting. But you can absolutely find a job in this industry without one, without a 4-year degree. More than anything, you're going to be leaning on your ability to like actually do the skill. That's the coolest thing about tech is like, there's no faking it. Like you have to actually know what you're doing. And if you can showcase that through your portfolio and your ability to pass a technical interview and your ability to answer questions, which is exactly what we prep our grads to do, then you are going to be like the most competitive candidate in there because you're applying for jobs that people who don't have those like real concrete technical skills are also trying to apply for. So yeah, absolutely. You can do it without a 4-year degree. Someone said, when does the Flex program generally start? The nice thing is that we have start dates for almost all of our disciplines, Flex and live, almost every 3 weeks, like generally at least one a month for Flex and for live. So it's something that that we have quite often. I will say our classes fill in advance. For example, it's October 5th, I think right now, and our November 1st cohort, the live program, is full. So, if you're looking to apply to the program, you're probably going to be looking at late November, early December. We have some spots left in our flex course for November 1st, but that's why I say like submit an application sooner rather than later. When you apply for the program, you're not applying for a specific start date. So you have some flexibility to change your date or your timeline, like if you need to, but the classes do fill in advance. So if you're like really trying to get a spot in December, you want to move quickly because so is everybody else, All right. This chat is going up. Thanks guys for all of the questions. Okay, let's see. Someone said, when are the jobs reports typically released? Like when might the 2021 report with 2020 data be out? Good question. Yeah, so the 2020, this past jobs report, it's sort of interesting. You have to go so far back because the auditing process is like a whole thing, even more so that it has to be third-party audited. But the 2020 jobs report was released like early 2021. So I imagine that the next jobs report will be released, don't quote me on this, early 2022. Essentially, you have to have a big enough pool of, well, first off, the campus has to be operating for, I think, like a year before those outcomes are collected. And then like a certain amount of students have to graduate from the program. They have to finish their full 6-month job cycle. We have to get all of that information and then we have to audit it. So this most recent report, the report that you'll have in your inbox today, is actually like late 2019 graduates, many of whom were job searching in early 2020, aka middle of a global pandemic. And so this jobs report is so unique because it really does paint like a pretty real picture of what the industry looked like for our for boot camp students at that time. You'll see that it takes grads, longer to land a job, which makes sense given the circumstances. The like the overall placement rate is slightly lower even than our report in years past. So it's interesting, but it's still good information so you can make decisions. But yeah, fingers crossed, early 2022. I don't know anything though, so don't quote me on that. All right, when do these live virtual sessions happen for the Flex program? So I assume you're referring to like a live lecture, well, and also like some live study sessions. For the Flex program, the live lectures are optional. You can attend any lecture that a full-time student is attending, and those happen during the day during business hours. I believe like a live lecture is typically 2 to 4 Eastern time, Monday through Friday. On top of the live lectures, there are live study sessions throughout the week as well, typically 5 times a week, like Monday through Friday at varying times. They're going to be during work hours, so 9 to 6, which I know can be a little bit frustrating, but if you can swing it to like plan a lunch hour or whatever around maybe at least attending one live study session. I think they try and have some at like the noon hour so that people can work around their busy lives. So there's a lot of live stuff that happens periodically throughout the week. But then another really cool feature of the program, not just for Flex, but also for our full-time students, is we have something called Pair with a Tech Coach. This is for our software engineering program specifically. So if you're interested in another discipline, it doesn't exactly apply to you, but we have some similar things. Just I'm not exactly sure what the hours are for other disciplines, but for software engineering specifically, these are tech coaches who are like boot camp grads. They're working in the industry. This is their sort of like side hustle, and it's virtual. But if you have a question, they work like Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to midnight. So like full range of availability. If you're working on a lab, you're a Flex student, you're doing your work, at 10 p.m. and you have a question or you're stuck, you shoot them a message, they send you a Zoom link, and you jump on human to human They're not going to tell you the answer. Like, it's infuriating, but they like talk to you and talk you through your issue so that you can come to your own conclusions. And I think that's so cool. Again, like, definitely I guess a selling point of the Flatiron School program specifically is just to have one-on-one support that late at night is awesome. So that's something to really help accommodate our flex students, because we know, like, you guys are working full-time jobs, you're busy, you can't always make it happen during the day. All righty, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but you will all get a recording of this, and then I will also follow up with an email. So if I miss a question, we can chat later. Let's see. Someone says, I'm doing network engineering training. Nice. Thought about cybersecurity and software engineering, but as long-term goals and to be more well-rounded, not necessarily to be a jack of all trades, just a master of some in terms of full stack engineer. But are Amazon Web Services, Azure, or cloud computing in your curriculum for the software engineering program? No, they are not in our curriculum. Our software engineering program, it's full stack web development. You're learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Ruby, React, Redux, Sinatra, Rails, and then you have data structures and algorithms work sprinkled in throughout the curriculum to help you pass your technical interviews. We teach what we teach, not because we expect, we want you to be an expert in specifically those languages, but because we find that it gives the best foundation for our graduates to know the logic of how to teach themselves new languages in the future. And so like in 15 weeks, you're absolutely never going to know enough. Same, with the flex program in 10 months and whatever. So there's always more to learn. Our students do self-teaching above and beyond what's even taught in the curriculum. And you're going to learn so much in your first job and your second and from then on. But no, we do not teach AWS, Azure, or cloud quite yet. Tremaine, hello. Can you speak on some of the details regarding the Women Take Tech initiative and the $3,000 scholarship? Thank you. Yeah, for sure. So a lot of our scholarships, number one, this information is all written down on the website. So definitely take a look at it. Many of our scholarships have a couple of different qualifying factors and a range of award dollars. So for example, the Women Take Tech scholarship is for women entering the tech industry. Very cool initiative. It's a $2,000 scholarship baseline for qualified candidates who identify as a woman. Perfect. And then there's an additional $1,000, which would total in $3,000 for women entering the tech industry who make below a certain income threshold. And this scholarship, it's a very similar format with our Access Scholarship and some of our other initiatives. It can be applied not only to your tuition balance, obviously, but it can also be applied to your upfront deposit, meaning you're not going to have to pay that $500 upfront to secure your seat in class. You can let the scholarship handle that and save that money and buy yourself a new laptop. But the scholarships are really cool. I hope that sort of gave you a rundown. That it's a pretty straightforward application. And if you have questions, definitely submit an application to the program first, and then bring up scholarships, bring up financing in your admissions interview. We're here to help you through all of that. It's not a touchy subject or anything. So yeah. Okay, cool. The cybersecurity engineering slide mentioned some prior experience or exposure to several systems. Is that prior exposure coding or something else? Great question. There's not a firm requirement for our cyber engineering program, but we ideally you have a little bit of exposure to Python. Not again, you don't have to be a professional Python programmer, but if you want to jump into a free Codecademy class, fabulous. Get yourself exposure to the fundamentals. And then just general Linux or Mac operating system, being able to sort of navigate your way through a computer is obviously important for all of our programs, but specifically so for cybersecurity engineering. And those are the two things that we would, I guess, label as prerequisites. Great question from Ruby. Can I check how much I qualify for in loans and scholarships before I apply, or should I apply to the program first? If you are interested in checking out the financial stuff, both Ascent and Climb, which are our two lenders, you can get pre-approved, or I guess pre-denied on their website. If you just go to literally like climbcredit.com or like ascentfunding.com, all of these links are on our website. Even before applying to the program, you can check your eligibility. You can see what your interest rate range would be. They give you like estimates on your monthly payments, all kinds of good stuff. And then if you're looking at scholarships, you won't be able to be awarded a scholarship without being admitted into the program, but certainly you can take a look on our website and see what type of funding you may be eligible for. One very important note, and then I'll try and wrap it up. I know we're like pushing it here, but one important note about the scholarships is you only will receive one. So even if there's a couple of initiatives on our website that you might be eligible for, just submit a general, scholarship application, and you would only receive one scholarship. All right. Does this program offer an ISA or an income share agreement as a program plan? No, we do not. Our lenders have deferred loan option where you could pause payments until after you graduate. They give you a 3-month grace period during your job search, but we do not have an income share agreement as a financing method. And then also, is the software engineering program still 100% online? Yes, the program will be fully virtual. There's no reason that you need to attend campus if you don't want to. However, if you want that, if you live near a campus that's open and you'd like to come collaborate, you're more than welcome to. But your learning, your instructor, your classmates, everyone will be virtual. Someone said, when they said Flatiron School, I thought I was coming here to learn how to get my hair did. You're not the only one, Ken. You are not the only one. All right. I think, let's see. Oh, okay. We have 2 more questions and I'm going to wrap it up. Are there any educational prereqs to apply, like standardized tests, etc.? To be admitted into the program, you do have to take a critical thinking assessment, which feels to me very much like a standardized test, but we'll help you prep for it. It's nothing you need to do before applying to the program. And then you didn't ask this question, but important information. You do have to have a high school diploma or a GED to enroll in one of our courses. And you'll want to have like proof of that before starting class on day 1. All right. I think that's it for real this time. Let's see. Oh, okay. One more question. Since you don't explicitly have the cloud in your curriculum, are you or will you consider cloud engineers for the foreseeable future? TBD. It wouldn't surprise me. We iterate on our curriculum constantly based on like the needs of the industry and also feedback from our employer partners. So if that's something that feels like it's unavoidable, then you might see it. You might hear me talking about it in the next webinar. High school diploma need to go back 35 years. Yeah, you don't have to have like a formal transcript. You can like scan in a picture of your college diploma or whatever. We'll help you make sure that you're good to go there. All right, guys, I think that's it. Let's talk about next steps. If I have thoroughly convinced you to apply to the program, then you can do so online, flatironschool.com/start. Or if you have more questions for myself, someone on my team, feel free to schedule like an intro chat with someone on the admissions team. At that link, you'll get the link where you can click it and make an appointment. These are like not salesy calls. Like we're just literally here to answer your questions and help you make the best decision for yourself. So don't be shy, schedule a call, happy to chat. And then also, this is probably like the worst event that we do here at Flatiron School. All of the other ones are so much more fun. We have virtual project workshops, we have alumni panels, we have all kinds of really cool stuff. We have like discipline specific info sessions. So if you want to dive down like just on product design or just on data science, we have some of those events. You can find them all flatironschool.com/events. And I think that is it. I will let you guys go a couple of minutes, not much, like 9 minutes early. It's gotten dark here in Denver. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'm going to follow up personally in an email with you all tomorrow. And so if you have any questions specifically for me, more than happy to chat. Otherwise, we will definitely be in touch to get you moving forward when we receive your applications, if not sooner, at another event. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you soon. Bye.